2018 was a solid year for video games. Personally, there wasn't anything in particular I was waiting for besides a couple of games from series that I hold nostalgic ties to. Luckily, some games came out near the tail end of the year, easily landing at number 1 and 2. I missed out on all the obvious AAA releases like Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2, and God of War due to a slight lack of interest with the Western AAA development scene. Anyway, on the indie development side, a lot of great creative games came out, but I still haven't tried the indie darling Celeste. Regardless, the last quarter of the year's games really struck a chord with me after the so-so first 3 quarters. Though 2018 is nowhere near the incredible peak that was 2017, it still had a few gems sprinkled here and there. As I look back at 2017, I realized that I missed out on an indie game that evoked the 3D platforming sensibilities of the 6th generation of consoles. A Hat in Time takes us to a simpler time, while providing a polished, charming experience throughout the decently compact campaign. In terms of narrative, the game's light, quirky writing was surprisingly engaging and enjoyable. Each world heavily deviates from the next, leaving a diverse and experimental journey. It's another amazing game from last year that further solidifies 2017 as a year worth remembering. I found Spectrum Break to be a fun, level-based action puzzler. It's just straightforward fun with jumping around. The colorful psychedelic art style made it easy to just zone out indefinitely. The game isn't a top contender, but if I was pressed to list more than just 7 games, I would probably put it somewhere on the list. However, I feel that Game of the Year lists should be filled with games that genuinely compel or intrigue. Let's just say I have high standards when it comes to putting stuff in one of these lists. Regardless, it's a great game for a developer's first release. What can I say? Undertale was amazing, and so was Deltarune. I'd put this one a lot higher if it wasn't just the first chapter of a game in development. However, its time will come, or at least I hope it will. I loved every moment of it, as it tells a story in the same vein as Undertale, but approaches it with a party-focused approach. There's a nice degree of character development, and I greatly enjoyed the dialogue. I'd recommend trying it out if you liked Undertale. I mean, it's free, and it's easily a highlight for me in 2018. Despite series composer Koichi Sugiyama being a war crime denying bigot, I can look past the views of one of the countless people who worked on the game. Dragon Quest XI is a highly streamlined version of the Dragon Quest formula. The series has always been fairly static in terms of design, so the general focus seemed to be one of quality of life improvements. It's jam-packed with features that make the long journey so much easier to get through. As a result, this allows the game to shine in the modern day. With a great attention to detail from the towns to the often foreshadowing dialogue, each area has a lot to explore. It's a game with a lot to do, and it's very enjoyable at that, but it's not a game without faults. The story is very old-fashioned and lacking in nuance, while the music quality is rather dated. The game is an excellent time sink that calls back to the roots of JRPGs while modernizing it for a newer audience. Shoot-'em-ups have always been a genre that I've been hesitant about. The biggest issue is how much practice and precision they require to succeed in. ZeroRanger makes the experience a lot more approachable with checkpoints at every level and a progression system that incentivizes practice by providing additional credits every time the Buddhist-themed experience gauge goes full circle. Despite the easier experience, it's still a challenge, and the enticing 1 credit clear is available for the experienced and the insane. Beyond that, the game subverts many expectations towards the end and has strong thematic ties to Buddhism, leaving a game worth remembering. As I was reviewing games this year, CrossCode was a clear turning point. It's a real passion project made by a team dedicated to doing their best. The game is a puzzle-heavy action RPG that really shines with its dungeon design and fun cast of party members. From the lengthy main storyline to the side quests and trading system, it's jam-packed with content. Story in CrossCode is a mix between heavy drama and fun comedic character interactions. The dungeons are filled with head-scratching puzzles that demand attention and analysis. I made a video for the game a while back, so I'll put a link of it down in the description. CrossCode is a testament to what developers can really achieve through hard work and dedication. Usually, Super Smash Bros. Is a series that I just enjoy. Most of the layer games don't improve much past what Melee already established, and I'm often just happy enough dabbling. However, the die-hard director and student of video games Masahiro Sakurai has hit gold with the latest entry. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has reinvigorated my passion for the series. With the return of a more straightforward classic mode, the very engaging feedback system that is Spirits mode, incredibly polished gameplay, and the overwhelming character pool, the game heavily improves on the pre-established formula in a post-Melee world. Having played Smash 4, Ultimate hardly resembles its predecessor. The benefits of building the game off of Smash 4 provided Sakurai with an opportunity to craft a game with the time and effort required for the celebration of video games that the series has become. If there has ever been a time to get into the series, it is now. Here I was at the end of the year, getting engrossed in the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate experience, when suddenly, Gris appeared. It's an indie game with a minimalist story, gorgeous visuals, impactful music, and a distinct focus on connecting the many parts that make up a game. The sheer artistic craft easily drew me in, while the highly emotional and introspective journey kept me engaged. It's a work that's easy to pick up and play with its simple controls and mechanics. The experience felt a lot like Journey with its light on details approach to story and unique visual design. However, Gris comes off as a lot more personal and mechanically interactive. The beautiful watercolor aesthetic was put up front and center due to how the story tied the return of color to narrative progress. This unique approach to storytelling through visuals was enhanced by how the colors would affect the environments and atmosphere while informing the gameplay. Gris is easily in my Game of the Year list through its inventiveness and effectiveness in telling a compelling emotional story about dealing with the past. Sure, it's a remastered release of a game that came out in 2005, but this time, it's different. It's Killer 7, the avant-garde masterpiece that changed my perception of video games and even just art in general. Killer 7 is Suda51's magnum opus that has never, and probably will never, be topped. The game provides an insane roller coaster of crazy and creative scenarios that impress me even to this day. With this Steam release, the visuals have never looked better. People can finally experience the genius of Suda51 at his best without having to dust off their GameCubes or Wiis. Anyway, I've spoken about the game in depth in the previous video, link in the description. As far as I'm concerned, it's my game of all years.
Samantha, the lights.
Of course, sir.
And there you have it. There's my Game of the Year list for 2018. Overall, I'd say I'm content with this year. I knew 2017 was a special year, so I didn't get my hopes up for 2018, and I was gladly surprised by some of these releases. Let me know what your list is by leaving a comment. I'm curious, as I think I spent more time writing and video editing about games than I have actually researching what's good nowadays. Funnily enough, a lot of the games on the list haven't been given a proper video on the channel, but many have been given reviews on DarkStation. I'll leave the links of them down in the description. Thanks for watching this video on my top 7 games of the year. By the way, this video's content was originally from DarkStation, but I modified it for the sake of having 7 entries because Killer 7. If you enjoyed it, feel free to like the video and consider subscribing to the channel. Oh yeah, if you want more, here are some of my other videos. Anyway, I'll see you all next time when I give you my top 7 worst games of 2018 in a soul-shattering video that tears apart the awful games that came out this year like an edgy teenager writing a song about the human condition.